And that concludes the agency overview.
Questions at this point, or?
I just wanted a point of clarification. Yep. Regarding the two hatcheries that we talked about for the Leaburg and the Santiam, are you saying that that's already been done and it's already being managed by a private entity, or that it's in the process of that happening?
Co-Chair Reardon, Co-Chair Taylor, the hatchery was actually defunded last, I want to say it was June, it could have been September. Yes, but the production, the private aquaculture production is coming from a private facility. So the Leaburg Hatchery is still there. We actually still are operating it. There was a budget bill in the 2018 session, which provided some bridge funds to keep the facility open through this budget process. Mm-hmm. So we actually have some trout there now. We have some staff there now. It is still being operated by us on state dollars. The production, the summer steelhead production at the North Santiam is essentially just slated to be eliminated. It's not, they're not privatizing it, they're reducing it for other purposes, budgetary or otherwise.
So it'll be shut down?
No, Co-Chair Reardon and Co-Chair Taylor, it won't be shut down. Just like many of our facilities, they have multiple programs. And so just the summer steelhead piece of the facility, that production will go away, but the other production at the facility will continue.
Okay. Well, if I just receiving some emails about the Leaburg one, if I think that there are some Oregonians who are wanting to have that remain open. I just was curious about the history because I don't get a lot of emails like that, but I received some emails about folks wanting this. This means quite a bit to some Oregonians. So.
We have two senators lined up. Senator Frederick, I think you were first.
Thank you. I have particular concerns about the Leaburg Hatchery, and particularly the communities around there that rely on the fishing, among other things, around McKenzie Bridge and along the McKenzie River. It is that they no longer have the forestry industry that was strong for quite a while. This is one of their main areas, and this is a concern of mine. So I'm looking forward to the presentation tomorrow regarding that. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Jerome.
Thank you, Chair. I want to put in a little bit for the summer steelhead run on the Santiam. This is something that fishermen pay for with their licenses, and the Santiam has been a really huge place for people to come up and catch a steelhead. It's not an easy thing to do to catch a steelhead. And
I do it all the time.
Yeah. I tell you how hard it is, and I have a hard time catching a steelhead. I took my wife out, she caught 6.
Just saying.
It's extremely embarrassing. But I don't want to go down that road.
John, would you make a note of that?
But the thing is, we rely on the fish hatchery. This was a run that's been actually created. This is to totally eliminate the run, which they actually did on the Molalla. So this is another steelhead run that's being basically eliminated, and the sports fishermen, it's just they're paying these fees to go out and be able to catch fish, and you're taking away a place that a lot of people from the valley go up and fish. Mm-hmm. And besides, it's right below my house.
Lynn. Rep. Hayden, did you have anything to add? Or?
Well, the McKenzie Fish Hatchery is something that I've been working on a lot and getting information together. I think we will have testimony on it from the general public on Wednesday. Yep. So we'll listen to that, and I have written an amendment that would give us the availability if we chose to put that back in, and we're also working on areas in the budget that we might be able to work to counterbalance that. So something of interest, yes.
So I thought I'd understood, because I'd looked into this a little bit, that it's in the process of being shut down. Layoff notices have been issued, and we're getting up toward the end of the fiscal year. So can you tell us if we wanted to keep it open. It's, I mean, it wasn't in the governor's budget. It's not really in yours. What would have to happen? How do we, and how soon?
Co-Chair Reardon and members of the committee, I think I'm fairly certain that we have operating revenue through the end of this biennium, so through June. Obviously, if you all are intending to fund the hatchery and keep it open, the sooner we know that, the better, because we give our staff as much notice as possible so that we don't wait till the end to give them their notice. We try and place them ahead of any closure. So the sooner the better in that regard. But the facility is open. It will be open through June. And if as you all work the budgets, if you direct us to keep the facility open, then that's what we'll do. If that's what's in the budget, absolutely.
And I only ask as a reflection of the interest of the committee, not as an indication of how funding may or may not go. We're just not at that point, but certainly need all the information that we can get. And it's just interesting to see how much interest there is in this topic. So,
Colby.
Rep. Colby.
Oh, I was going to ask a question about that hatchery and its original purpose, or its current purpose was, I think, to help mitigate the whole Willamette Basin of the impact of the dams had on trout, I guess, specifically. So I guess my question is the state can the state meet that mitigation plan going forward, or does it still exist without the hatchery?
Co-Chair Reardon and Representative Holvey, the mitigation obligation is on the federal government, so the Corps of Engineers has the mitigation obligation. They are currently meeting that obligation through the private production. So any additional, if Leaburg continues to operate, that will be additional production above and beyond the mitigation requirement.
Okay, thanks for straightening that out.
So the feds are meeting that mitigation requirement, so they're putting money into that program. And if we kept it Leaburg open, we would be duplicating that effort, and thus would the feds be off the hook, or how does that work?
Yeah, Co-Chair Reardon, that's a great question, but it would not be duplicating the effort. It would just be additional production above and beyond the mitigation obligation. So the feds would not be off the hook.
Okay.
And we would argue strongly that.
Just have more fish?
That's right.
Okay, good thing.